So in the beginning, there was over 19 cats that I was feeding, and now I'm down to 7 permanent cats. And it was very overwhelming because nobody was helping. We moved into this neighborhood, and this neighborhood is primarily rental properties. And when we moved in, I started to notice there were so many cats. And me being an animal lover, I was like, I want to feed them, I want to help them because nobody's helping them. Well, once I started feeding 1, I was feeding 5, and 5 turned into 10, and then it just got overwhelming, and I noticed there was kittens and more kittens. And one day I just said, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I got myself into. And I just wrote on a page on Facebook, and a wonderful lady named Dana reached out to me and said, if I help you, will you help me? And I was like, please, just, I don't know where to start.
Hi, we're Carolina Street Cat.
There's not enough resources, and so I just feel like we kind of filled that in.
Especially the cats that hide in the shadows, that aren't the ones that are snuggly and sweet, the ones that nobody can really touch, they don't know what to do with, so they just ignore them.
They ignore them and they take their babies and then let them distribute.
That's somebody else's cat.
It's not my cat. I'm helping. Yeah.
But here's a little can of food.
Yeah.
I'm just feeding it. I've just been feeding it.
Yeah, because then it just goes on forever and ever.
Carolina Street Cats has been great. You know, they're definitely a resource that we use at the Union County Animal Shelter. The impact that it's made at the shelter, it's unreal. The amount of cats that we took in years ago versus the amount of cats we take in now is just 2 different pages. They've really been a great asset for the Union County Animal Shelter, and we are glad to have them and hope they continue to stick around and help us out.
You remember Wayne when he lost his wife, and his wife had dementia, and those cats were her everything. So we had to come at a different time because she didn't know what was going on. And one day you called him and he said, I'm sorry I'm not home. My wife passed away last week. And he said, you guys have been such a blessing because that's all she had, and now that's all that I have left of her.
Yes.
And when we first arrived, there were so many sick cats. I mean, they had snot coming out of their nose, their eyes were messed up, and for him to now have a healthy colony to remember his wife and honor his wife was so warming to me, and I think to all of us. That's really what we're about. We're about the cats, and we're about their health and bettering their lives, but the people, it's the people.
When you compare the size from the same litter, and this is why Carolina Street Cats work so hard to make sure that community cats are spayed and neutered.
At one point, probably 2 or 3 years ago, we probably had close to 40 cats here. I tried to adopt out a lot of cats. I think at one point I was up to about 25 cats where I had taken to the vet, gotten them their shots, gotten them spayed and neutered, or to someone responsible enough that was going to take care of them and get them spayed and neutered, but it took its toll, and I knew I needed help.
And what amazes me is how many properties don't just have 1 or 2 cats. This is, 10 to 15 to 20 to 30. I mean, our biggest one was 60. And that's 2 properties now in our county that have had 60 breeding cats on the property.
And we've also learned if somebody reaches out and they say they're feeding 5 cats, they're likely feeding 10 to 15 cats.
They just don't, they
And
just don't know.
I imagine how overwhelming it must feel before they find out that there are some people that will help.
And when I speak to the caregivers, that initial conversation does usually focus on some sort of shame because they know that they've created a problem. They don't know that there's resources out there, and they are overwhelmed, just like you said. And then once we start talking about our process and how we are going to be there, we're going to handhold them through it. We're going to finish their project. We won't leave them in the lurch. The relief from the caregivers. There's just so much gratitude once we get out there.
We realized the need in Union County is so great for this type of involvement and community outreach. But yeah, it's hard work, it's rewarding. When you see the difference you make for the caregivers and the animals, it makes it all worthwhile. Once we've helped them, they've realized the impact that it's had on the cats in their own lives, and they're quicker to let maybe their neighbor or their aunt or their coworker know, hey, you can't be feeding those cats. You gotta reach out to these ladies. That's where, the community outreach and how it spreads and how we make change.
If anyone is having a problem with a colony of cats, first and foremost, you gotta call someone and get help and get them fixed, because it's never gonna end. And these cats are likely, okay, good. They're likely not gonna survive. A lot of them are gonna suffer, and that's no way for them to live. So the best thing that you can do, contact Carolina Street Cats. We just can't keep having all these kittens and kittens. The shelters are overwhelmed. The rescuers, the foster people, everyone who helps out and donates, everyone is overwhelmed. So this is the way that we need to stop. I love these ladies. They are the best.
Oh, we love you back. You're so sweet.